Good Monday morning. So this will be the Monday movie review for Guns, Girls, and Gambling, which is a 2012 movie. Bit of a B movie. Christian Slater and Gary Oldman, biggest names in it. Dane Cook appears. Don't hold that against the movie. It's actually pretty good, even with him in it. I'm just not a big Dane Cook fan. And perhaps I'm suffering a little bit from the meme of hating on Dane Cook. But it's not a bad, he doesn't play a bad character in this either. Or doesn't play the character badly in this. It's B-ish level. But what they saved on production value, they clearly made up for in quality actors and good writing. Just adjust my camera angle a little touch there. So yeah, as I was saying, what they saved in production value, they made up for in good actors. Christian Slater does his usual work. He's always reasonably good. Gary Oldman, it's Gary Oldman. There's an absolute fox called Helena Matson in this. This is the first thing I've seen her in. She's apparently been in other things. I believe one of the Species movies, at least. This film, and I'm going to try to keep this spoiler free. This movie is good. I recommend it. Not the least reason being that there's prominent use of poetry in the movie, and a significant reliance on history and puns. Ironically, some of the jokes are actually extremely good. It's a bit of a sort of a heist movie. The twists involved are actually acceptable and quite well done. Gordon Tootoosis is also in this. I believe he died not long after this film was finished, or at least his part in this film was finished. Let's see. Gordon Tootoosis, for those who don't know, was a Canadian native actor, most famous for his role on North of 60, which was a TV show here in Canada. Or at least he was most famous to me for that. But there's also Powers Booth, Sam Trammell. Sam Trammell, for those of you who don't recognize the name, that was the bartender Sam Merlot in True Blood. And Jeff Fahey actually makes an appearance in this as well. But trying to keep it spoiler free, the writing is, in my opinion, absolutely top notch. What else? Oh, in the description you'll find a link to the trailer and a link to one of the poems that features somewhat prominently in this movie, Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe, which I will be premiering a read of on Wednesday. Let's see, what else? On the IMDb page, this movie is listed as, if I recall correctly, crime, thriller, western. Yes, all of those fit. And it's actually a good example of any of those three. Well, perhaps not so much thriller. Excuse me one second while I actually check and make sure it was thriller that it was listed as. Yeah, so I was correct in my original statement. It was, in fact, crime, thriller, western that it was listed as. It's got a insanely low score on Rotten Tomatoes for such a good film. 29% audience score. I think it's 250 plus ratings. I'm guessing a lot of people didn't see the humor or the technical soundness of the writing. There is a little bit of a Deus Ex Machina element to it, but not so bad as some stuff that's been made since it was produced. The film, like I say, is 10 years old. Doesn't show its age, in my opinion. But then, like I say, it had a really low production value. Doesn't appear to have had a lot of CGI. I think there's only one or two scenes that looked either green screened or CGI related. There's some hilarious, watching it now in the age of the wokeness, it's got some hilarious anti-woke comedy in it, and it's almost precursoring that sort of poke back, pushback sort of response, uh, which obviously I'm very happy about. Let me see what else. Gary Oldman turns in a pretty good performance. You can tell he's having a lot of fun. No one in this film appeared to be phoning it in, which is something I'm very impressed with. Uh, there's a couple of good shootout scenes. There's a bunch of hilarious, poking at the social justice woke agenda. And this was well before the whole social justice woke thing was really a thing. It's poking at political correctness, uh, and does it extremely well. Um, like I say, there's some reliance for some of the comedy on historical uh, events. Uh, it's, in my opinion, it's probably one of the best written movies I've seen in a long time. And I think it's criminally underappreciated. So if you get a chance, go and see Guns, Girls, and Gambling. You can find it on Tubi. I'll put a link to that in the description as well. Uh, Tubi is a free service. I know it's available in Canada. I think it's available in the US and some parts of Europe. But at this point, being a 10-year-old movie, it shouldn't be that hard to find free pretty much anywhere you are. Um, trying to think if there's anything else I can share with you guys that won't spoil any part of this movie. It's got a little bit of the Pulp Fiction uh, jump cutty or time jump sort of aspect to it. The difference here is it makes it very clear where your time jumps are. So there's none of that initial confusion that you would have had the first time you watched Pulp Fiction if you'd never seen a film that used that sort of time jump before. Um, Ironically, this is the third movie I've seen Christian Slater in that had something to do with Elvis. um, but yeah, it's very well written, I think. It's clearly a bit of fun from everybody involved. Nobody seems to have been, as I said, nobody seemed to have been phoning anything in. The actors clearly had a good time working with each other. Or if they didn't, they're actually far better actors than I would have thought. Chris Kattan actually makes an appearance in this. Who else? I can't think of any other big names that are in it, or names that are familiar to me at least. I will warn you, this isn't a kids' movie. There is a little bit of nudity. There are subtle clues in the film about the outcome of the film if you're watching carefully. The first time through, I caught something that made me think, oh, that's a plot hole. And then it turned out not to be. And that really made me happy to see something like that. And yeah, it's if you've got a good eye, you'll catch a few things that'll make you go, wait a second, something's not quite right about this situation. But yeah, there is one Deus Ex Machina, which is a bit strange, but well, not strange. It strains credibility a little bit, but with that one criticism, and the occasional shoddy one shot looks really badly green screened, but that may have simply been a poor choice of camera lens. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a big photography, videography sort of guy. Uh, Essentially, I take I think it's W.C. Fields who said, I don't know art, but I know what I like. I take that approach, and I very much like this movie. Um, there are some great gags, some great dialogue. Uh, its runtime is very tight. um, there's nothing particularly extraneous in this movie. Uh, yeah, I think it's probably one of the best movies I've seen in a long while. And it looks like it was made on the cheap. And it really, really deserves more appreciation than it's got. So that's my opinion on the movie. And again, the movie is called Guns, Girls, and Gambling. It's from 2012. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you guys will have a look at the trailer. Hopefully you'll watch the movie. Uh, it's really worth your time, I think. If you've got an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm not 100% sure exactly the runtime on it. I can actually check and tell you. It's a little around 2 hours. So it's definitely worth the time. Uh, so I will wrap that up here. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you continue to have good days and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.